This is the story of two billionaires who likely need no introduction for most of you, Chamath Palihapitiya and Richard Branson.
Virgin Galactic. This is the most honest, real, hard-hitting video I've ever made. It's being made during a live show. It's a reaction video to break down the truth about Chamath and Richard Branson. Were we duped? Were we conned by Richard Branson and Chamath? This is going to be a very strong video. It's being made during a live show in a reaction to what's being said online, particularly YouTube at the moment. And I'm going to also do it alongside a live poll that you can take part in during the making of this video. And also my members, we are in members only mode, can comment in the making of this video. In this video, you're going to learn everything you need to know and not need to know about Virgin Galactic. We're going to get to the bottom of whether we were duped by Chamath and whether we were conned to and lied to by Sir Richard Branson. I'm going to cover it all. It's going to be very, very honest. It's going to be brutal, and it's going to be very hard hitting to one individual on YouTube. He doesn't know this yet, but he's soon going to find out. Now then, full disclosure. You all know, people are people. People are essentially selfish. People are essentially greedy. It's human nature, whether we like it or not. It's the way it is. People are taking care of their own self-interests. Sad thing to say, but it's true. However, nobody is more open and honest and qualified to talk on this subject than myself. And let me clarify what I'm about to say. I said to you 2.5 years ago, I would go live every single day, up to 10 hours a day, to prove to you that I am honest, real, genuine. Everything I say is to help people, not to make money on YouTube. I am not a YouTuber. I've explained this. I was voted as the world piano man. I've toured the world as an entertainer. I've made my fame and fortune. I now do this in the best live studio on YouTube to bring you a live show. And if I was doing this to make money, I would just make videos and maybe like Meet Kevin and Graham Stepan, I would maybe go live half an hour or maybe an hour a day just to engage with my audience. But I would essentially be making videos to make money. So I've done it to prove to you by going live all day like I do, I make about $4 to $5 on a live video. I clearly don't do it for the fame and fortune. I clearly don't do it for the money. I've proven that to you over and over again. I put my real money in. I'm in margin. I've explained my position. I've shared my position. I'm the only person I know on YouTube that shares his actual trades, his actual bank balance, all the time by being live. So I am qualified to say that I am the most open, honest person on YouTube TV, especially when it comes to Virgin Galactic. I study it all day long, and I am sharing with you my real trades and my real positions. However, it's come to my attention that many people feel they've been duped, lied to, and conned by Chamath and Sir Richard Branson. Now, right off the bat, I am not a fan or friend of anyone other than my viewers. My priority is to my audience, to build a live audience, not to sell videos, not to try and get people to subscribe to me. In fact, I often say every day, download the video if you don't like it. I don't care whether you subscribe to me or follow me. I couldn't care less. I am trying to build the most honest channel on YouTube TV, and that's what we've achieved. We're also surrounded by 95% of the world's retail investors that follow our channel, and they want the real information. They don't want the rubbish and the nonsense. Now then, this is being made during a live video, and I'm about to react to a video that was made on YouTube. This is the poll we are running, and the question I'm asking you, I will ask it again at the end of this video on another poll. The question I'm asking you is, did Chamath and Branson take advantage of Virgin Galactic retail investors? Please vote and comment in the poll. This is being shown live as part of a Virgin Galactic special reaction video. Join the debate, which is this video right now, and you can be part of it. If you do a super chat, it will read your comments out on the screen. So you can have your comments put into this video. And so far, 26 people have voted, and 50% have said, yes, we were duped and lied to, and 3% don't know, and 46% say no. However, when you listen to this video, you would believe that retail investors feel they've been lied to. What you're about to hear is an example of false information, with the greatest respect to this person, but I'm sorry, I'm going to tell the truth. Someone who's trying to sell a video, someone who's trying to get subscribers, a YouTuber. I do not sell videos. Never have, never will. That's not what we're about. Let's get in to this reaction video. Are you ready? So I'm doing this live, unlike the person that made this, who edited it 100 times. I'm doing this live, so it won't be clean and perfect. It's not intended to be. It's intended to be a real reaction with your live comments in the chat. If you comment to this, then it'll be shown on the video. So this is the video. Now then, I'm going to play it for you right now. This was on a YouTube channel, Dave G Investing. Dave G made this video, and he's a small YouTuber, but he's growing. I used to be 3,000 subscribers. He's growing. He wants to grow on YouTube, but he's not live all day like me. He doesn't know the people that I know at Virgin Galactic. He doesn't have all the retail investors. He doesn't rank #1, but he wants to, obviously. He's on YouTube making YouTube videos, not going live all day. And he has made this video. Did Chamath and Branson take advantage of Virgin Galactic? I have shown you many, many times that people, Meet Kevin does it all the time. Graham Stepan does it all the time. They make negative videos because negative videos sell. It gets you to watch. It makes them money. Going live all day, giving up my valuable time doesn't make me money, but at least you know it's truthful. So I'm going to now react to this video, and you're going to learn everything you need to know about Virgin Galactic. Everything. Are you ready? I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to play this video, and we're going to react to it. Here we go.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Dave, and today I want to talk to you about an extremely important story in the space industry, in the world of investing in public space companies, and I think it's one that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. This is the story of two billionaires who likely need no introduction for most of you, Chamath Palihapitiya and Richard Branson. These two are both being sued for pocketing millions of dollars from selling Virgin Galactic shares while allegedly covering up problems and leaving retail investors like ourselves holding the bag. Now, this lawsuit has not been decided upon. The two very much deserve their day in court, innocent until proven guilty.
Absolutely. So we're all fully aware of the court case that is ongoing. Now, I will share with you, just to give some balance as we do this, one of our biggest retail investors in the world has joined me live on the show. He owns 460,000 shares of Virgin Galactic. And this was his comment about the lawsuit just some moments ago. Frivolous lawsuit. Ridiculous, nonsense. It's retail investors trying to have a go. I'm a retail investor. Martini Racer. It's one of the biggest retail investors in the world. Frivolous. That's an investor, a real successful, wealthy investor who thinks the lawsuit is frivolous. Let's move on and react to this video. It's going to get very strong in a minute.
And it's not for me to say today whether they behaved illegally or committed fraud. But what I will say is I think there was some unethical behavior going on here, and it really caused a lot of pain among the retail shareholder base, while these two billionaires did extremely well for themselves, a pattern that seems to repeat itself over and over again.
First of all, we need to understand that there are retail investors, that is you and I, regarded as just the everyday man. We have no power at all to move a stock. When we had the situation with GameStop, when it flew up, that was a very, very, very unique situation, extremely rare. Extremely rare. 99 times out of 100, the retail investors have no opportunity to move a stock. Institutions, however, do. But one thing you need to note straight away, the language he's using here is the stock market is not a fan club. Unfortunately, institutions and Richard Branson and Chamath know that. But a lot of retail investors think it's a fan club, think they can have some power to change the world and join a fan club and have a say. You can't, and it's a waste of time even trying. Those that try always lose. And if you think the stock market is a nice, happy little place, it's not. It's brutal. It's full of manipulation and nonsense. Don't come into it and then moan if things don't go your way. It doesn't work like that. And you have no power as a retail investor anyway. Let's get into the video.
And one I think we should all strive to avoid in the future. Now I'd like to take you back to the beginning and tell you the story of how these two massive billionaires made a ton of money while retail investors lost everything. And in the case of Chamath,
I think it's quite clear at the moment you can appreciate retail investors versus the billionaire. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy was part of the GameStop situation. Let's beat the billionaires. If you surround yourself by wise, successful people, you'll become a wise, successful person. If you surround yourself with people that talk nonsense and have achieved nothing and have no discipline and structure, you will be exactly the same. So I don't like this constant, the billionaires and the retail investors. I'm a retail investor, but I have the mindset of a billionaire. So to get that clear straight.
This is not an isolated incident, but just one chapter in a story of many similar instances. If you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. It helps out so much with the channel. If you're already subscribed, is very much appreciated. With that out of the way, let's dive into the murky story of Virgin Galactic's finances. The year is 2019, and Chamath Palihapitiya has emerged as something of a hero to everyday retail investors.
Right, number one point. Chamath never was, never will be a hero of mine. He is a businessman, a successful businessman. He's not my friend. He's not there to help me. He purely is a businessman. He's not a hero of mine whatsoever. So he's not a hero of the retail investors, the biggest, largest, most successful retail investors in the world. None of us, because I've had a conversation before I made this video, think Chamath is a folklore hero. None of us.
Like you and me. He has a wonderful rags to riches story of coming to North America as a refugee and building himself up into a billionaire. Not only that, but he regularly speaks extremely eloquently and persuasively on TV's most popular investing channels such as CNBC and Bloomberg. He has amassed a huge following of retail investors who are convinced he's the next Warren Buffett, and he's going to tell them.
No top retail investor thinks Chamath is the new Warren Buffett. Not one. I speak to all the top retail investors on Virgin Galactic. Not one thinks Chamath is the new Warren Buffett. Couldn't be further from the truth.
How they can get rich in the stock market. Richard Branson, meanwhile, has built a business empire with his Virgin group and has even been knighted by the British Crown. Now, as you watch the story that follows, I want you to put yourself in the shoes of a young retail investor, someone who's extremely excited about the future of the space industry and the possibilities that it might allow, and someone who looks up very much to Chamath and believes in his story and thinks that he is the next Warren Buffett.
There's your first mistake. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be looking up to anyone, thinking anyone's a hero. Warren Buffett included. Warren Buffett knows the stocks differently to you. Chamath is not your savior. Nobody is. And, you know, the first thing you need to do is educate yourself with stop looking at headlines and trying to find get rich quick schemes. That's not what Chamath's role was in bringing Virgin Galactic public.
Let's take a look at what happened when Virgin Galactic went public.
I think the profitability of this business is going to look as good as one of the best software companies around, and that's why I was so excited. You're in the business of hardware, but it looks like software, and that is very different than many of the other technology-oriented hardware companies that have gone public recently. So this is a business that at scale will have almost 70% operating margins, which is incredible. And the team that George has built that's been able to build something that is largely now de-risked and ready to commercialize and monetize. There is no way that I can win unless the stock goes up.
On a valuation basis, so you're at a pretty big multiple to even projected revenues for
that's actually not true. I would actually say it's the opposite. Look, we have a customer backlog of more than 600 people. It's more than $80 million of collected deposits already. These are customers from 60 plus countries of the world. There's another about 2,500 more people have expressed interest in becoming customers. That's the first 2 or 3 years of the business. And what the team has built, and this is what was amazing to me, is a business that actually has software-like margins. This thing looks like...
And I agree that Virgin Galactic is like that, the technology and what it does, I agree. Is it there yet? No. Have you got to have patience. Is he selling the stock? Well, yeah, he's optimistic. He's telling everybody it's going to be great. Well, find me a CNBC interviewer or interviewee who owns the stock doesn't tell you it's great. Why would you be buying a stock and investing in the stock and backing a stock if you thought it was rubbish? Of course you believe in it. Nothing wrong with that at all. That doesn't mean to say this is financial advice. You should go and buy it because Chamath says so. That's not it at all. If you follow that, more fool you. You've not done your own research.
A software business under the hood, even though it's flying people to space. So this is, I think, actually a really compelling risk reward. I mean, even taking a general step back, I think I've had a really good track record right now of being a little bit ahead of some big trends, whether it was a transition to Amazon, whether it was backing Bitcoin, things like Slack. And what I'll tell you is I generally don't put my own principal capital on the table unless I think there's a really compelling risk reward, and I'm doing that here.
You sounded like almost like you were talking about Tesla.
The market is enormous. I mean, and the amount of people who'd love to go to space is enormous. And once we've got a lot of spaceships, the float will hopefully enable us to be able to build a lot of spaceships. The price will start coming down, and that will increase the market even more.
Another reason why I thought this was so interesting is that what Richard's team has built are technologies that eventually can be used in a hypersonic airplane. So what does that mean? That means if you're used to a 10-hour flight...
All of this is correct so far. There's nothing wrong here. What they're doing is they're simply talking about the stock. They're passionate about it. They're excited about it. They're putting the money in it. Nothing wrong there at all so far.
From Los Angeles to Tokyo or Los Angeles to Beijing, that becomes less than 2 hours. Now that alone, if you look at the ticketing revenue for that, in the airlines, that's $300 billion of revenue that should vaporize, because why would you not
nothing wrong here, what they're doing.
Travel through a Virgin experience that's basically 1/5 the time? So profitability is projected right now in August of 2021, and that's where full year profitability will be. We're going to be starting commercial.
Now, of course, he's very optimistic about the timeline, the profitability timeline, and there's nothing wrong with that, of course. And we'll come on to that later on in the video.
Commercial operations within a year from now, which is really exciting. So from a safety perspective, how do we know that this thing is going to be an incredibly safe experience? This is actually as safe or safer, frankly, than flying in a traditional airplane.
Now, it's certainly not hard to imagine a young, excitable investor, not unlike myself back then, hopping on the Virgin Galactic bandwagon. After watching videos like this of Chamath and Branson talking about how amazing the Virgin Galactic business is going to be, how the margins are going to...
I've got to stop you right there. You cannot see... You cannot use that information as inspiration to I'm going to get rich. This is not how the stock market works. There's so much I have to say. I'm going to give him a bit more time to say a few more words.
Going to be 70% plus and wanting to take part in this new space industry gold rush. Now let's watch a clip from back then where an interview tries to pin down Chamath a little bit on just how much he is receiving in this SPAC deal to take Virgin Galactic public, which he sort of sidesteps in the comments on the video that follow.
The reality is that I'm putting my own money, and what I'm trying to do is put my reputation forward and say...
You're getting no... But what you just suggested was that you're getting no promote.
Let me explain what this is. And this is perfectly acceptable, and I would expect the same. If you are backing a company before it goes public, before it's proven itself, do you get a discount, pennies for the dollar on stocks? Yes. Should you? Yes. Of course you should. One, you're putting your money behind a company that hasn't done or achieved anything yet, and you're getting a discount. Let me point out, every single successful businessman who's ever bought a stock before it goes public has promote, has discounts, has cheaper shares than the retail investor who buys it afterwards. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's not the big guy versus the little guy. It's how you become the big guy. If you surround yourself by silly people, you become a silly person. If you surround yourself by intelligent, successful people, you'll become an intelligent, successful person. It's perfectly acceptable for somebody who's backing a new business to get a better deal. So he should. So he should. I would expect exactly the same. If I'm coming into a business and I'm promoting it and I'm buying it before it even goes public, as I have just done. I have just a few days ago interviewed a CEO from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. I met him. I bought his company. I bought a gold mine. And many of you have done it with me before it IPOs. We have got a better deal. We have got a 25% discount on the stock, and we got an immediate 10% bonus. We are getting a better deal than everybody else who buys the stock when it pre-IPOs. Absolutely fact. Absolutely fact. So, is that right? Of course it's right. I have given our CEO, Jeff Boots, $1,000 of my money before the business goes public. I've backed a business which is currently private. So I've got a 25% discount and I have got a 10% benefit straight away. 35% better than anybody else that's going to get the IPO when it IPOs at the New York Stock Exchange. So I'm just like Chamath. I am getting a better deal. It's sour grapes. So stop making videos, go live, learn, meet people, and build yourself a better business than trying to go, oh, the big man's getting all the money and I'm getting no money. It's ridiculous. I am not Chamath's mate, never met him, don't care, but I'm telling you, that's how the world is. And it's right to be like that. This interviewer wants to make him look bad. Just like the YouTuber wants to make him look bad because it gets ratings. Everybody wants to go, oh, this is all bad, and we're all getting stuffed over by the rich man. No, you're not. I would do exactly the same thing. Let's carry on.
No, that's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is that you have $16 million initially, plus $160 million on the back. Total. I've just told you what we own.
Correct.
So you're saying now that's going up to about $250 million right now, automatically?
Yeah, for example,
And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? He's not allowed to make money. These people don't like to see somebody making money. Good luck to him. I don't invest in the stock market to lose money. Let me tell you that. However, I don't try and create nonsense on YouTube to sell videos. I go live. I invest in myself, just like Chamath has done.
Open Door, the position that we have invested, so we put, I think, $12 million initially up front. Another $155 million. I think that was $169 million we invested total. That's a 2.x on our invested capital. So what I'm trying to tell you, Andrew, is like, this is not some get-rich-quick scheme, at least for me. And hope.
Exactly. And at the very beginning of the video, our YouTuber said it's retail investors looking for a get-rich-quick scheme. I never, ever advocate that, and I've proven that many times. The stock market is not a way to get out of debt, not a way to get rich. I started investing after I had no debt, after I had no car loan, after I had no mortgage. I'm already successful. I've already got what I need. I'm now investing for the future. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not a binky bonk crypto coin. This is an actual business. And this is a businessman. And this is how the market works.
Hopefully over time, what people see is there are high quality businesses, a high quality sponsor, and we're trying to do a thoughtful job.
So, as you saw in that clip, Chamath did not want to admit that he received many thousands of shares for pennies on the dollar.
Yes, he did. He told you he was going to make money. There's nothing wrong with getting a discount on the stock. Bloody hell, he should get a discount on the stock. I've just got a discount on a gold mine. Of course, he should get a discount on the stock. What are you talking about? You would expect the same if you'd made any money and wanted to invest in a new company, wouldn't you?
And if we take a look at the comment section here, the commenters all really took Chamath's side, saying it's so horrible for this mean interviewer to ask the billionaire about how much money he's getting on this deal. And
stop referring to him as a billionaire. If you act like that, he will get richer and you will get poorer. Be a billionaire yourself. His name is Chamath. He's not a billionaire. That's his title.
Really just coming to his defense. Surely after expressing such a strong conviction and belief in this company, the two investors are holding their shares to the present day, right?
Oh, now we're going to go on to he can't possibly sell it. How terrible that he actually made a profit so he can buy another business. Isn't that what you would do if you made a profit? Isn't that what you would do if you bought the stocks? We have got one of the world's biggest retail investors today in the show, watching me now make this video, with 460,000 shares. When it goes up 100%, which it will any day now, he's going to sell half his position and take his seed out. Is that wrong? No, he's an investor. That's what investors do. Unbelievable. We're going to catch him out now. We're going to catch him out. Chamath was lying to us. He's going to sell his stocks. So's Richard Branson. However, Richard Branson still owns 15% of the company, only second to one other person, an institution. Dear oh dear. Let's carry on.
Virgin Galactic falling nearly 27% this week.
Okay, so Chamath sold. He was the chair of the board of the company. He resigned, but surely Richard Branson, this was his baby. He's had it since the beginning. Surely he's still holding on to his shares, right?
Yes.
To watch specifically today, Virgin Galactic.
A new securities filing showing that founder Sir Richard Branson and the 4 entities he controls, including Virgin Group, sold more than 5.5 million shares, worth about $150 million of the company's stock over the past few days. That sale coming just a month after Galactic chairman Chamath Palihapitiya sold his remaining personal stake. Nonetheless, you can see Virgin Galactic shares down about 11.5% right now.
Come on.
It's a conspiracy. They tried to get us to buy all the stock, and now the stock's gone up, and now they sold it. It's the big man. They've done it to me again. Oh, they made me buy the stock. They made me buy the stock, and then they dumped it. Let me be absolutely clear. I am making this video after buying the stock the first time because I didn't get in at the bottom. Because I didn't know anybody. I wasn't Chamath or Richard Branson. Now I do, because now I bought a gold mine at the beginning, because I built a business. I've made contacts. I have grown. When I first bought Virgin Galactic, I bought it for $35. I'm down. I've lost money. I've got more reason to be upset than you. I've lost about $30,000. And looking at the fact you're sat on your stairs on a video rather than build a business like I have done. And remember, I started with zero and worked for a year and a half for free. You're not doing any live videos. You're making money on day one from your videos. I went live for a year and a half for free. I built a better studio than you, and I've lost $40,000 on $35,000 on Virgin Galactic. So I've got every reason to be really pissed with Chamath. Am I pissed with Chamath? No. Do I care what Chamath has done with his stocks? No. Did he sell them? Yes. Was he right to sell them? Yes, because he knew it was going down. What do you want him to do? Just sit around like you and end up with no money? What's the point of that?
Okay, but fine. Even if they needed to sell for other reasons, surely with the company set up as well as they claim, those margins looking to approach 80%, the fact that they're scheduled to go profitable by 2021, the fact that they say their vehicles are so extremely safe, even safer than an airplane, surely the retail investors who followed Chamath into this company and followed Branson are doing okay.
I didn't follow Chamath. I didn't follow Branson. I studied. I did the hard work. I'm not trying to make cheap little videos. I didn't follow anybody, and neither did any of the world's largest retail investors either.
Okay, even if those two sold a large portion of their shares.
It's very dramatic.
Well, Virgin Galactic scaling back their commercial space flights from Spaceport America in southern New Mexico. The space tourism company is also laying off about 100.
Right. I'm glad we've got to this part of the video. They're laying off. They're cutting costs. They're saving money. Why are they doing that? Not because of you making videos and trying to make some money for yourself. They did that because of what I achieved, what my viewers achieved. We built the #1 channel for SPCE, Virgin Galactic. We spoke to the investor relations. We did a petition and we asked for them to cut costs. We did something about it. We got busy. We got active. We made a difference. And now the company is going to be profitable and it's going to $100. What is wrong with the stock? What is wrong with the company saving money, reducing waste and improving its business? That's what we have done. That's what the company have done. That's not a bad thing.
185 employees, almost 20% of its workforce. Company leaders say they're making changes so they can focus on creating a new spacecraft, which is set to have more seats for passengers and fly more consistently.
Apparently not so much. The vehicle that was apparently extremely safe has had problems and many delays over and over again. The margins that were supposed to be so amazing are not.
Oh no, don't tell me. You know what? I need to be out of Virgin Galactic. He's right. They're a rocket company. They've had some problems. He's right there. I maybe need to sell my stocks. Hang on a minute. Elon Musk, SpaceX. How many ships has he blown up? How many rockets have been blown up? They seem to be doing okay. Tesla, how many failures did they have at the beginning? We nearly went bankrupt, but now they're the best-selling car in the world. Yeah, I think I'll sell my shares of Virgin Galactic. They've had some difficulties.
Not there. The company is burning hundreds of $millions per quarter. The stock price, which did climb to extremely high levels, is now in the low single digits. Meanwhile, many retail investors are still hanging on, really believing in the thesis that they have been sold and wanting to be a part of the next great space company. Clearly, the two billionaires did really well from themselves, and the investors in many cases did not. But what have the two of them been up to in the meantime since this happened and since they sold their capital?
All kinds of bad stuff.
Well, for Branson, he actually spun off a second company from Virgin Galactic, which also SPAC'd to go public. This company was called Virgin Orbit, and its mission was to deliver
I know, because Virgin Orbit is just down the road from my house in Cornwall, and I went there and I saw what was going on, and we know why they failed. They ran out of money, and it was going to be rescued. We know, we had the calls into the show. We know who was buying it. Richard Branson stopped it to protect his investment. He did the right thing for him. We had an opportunity to get out of the stock. It popped on all the bad news, but I kept in hoping it would be saved. I knew what I was doing, and I did get some of my money out. I didn't get all of it out, but that was my decision to make. It's not a conspiracy theory.
Satellites to orbit using a rocket that was mounted on the wing of a modified Boeing 747 jet. Let's check in on how that company has done for its investors.
Richard Branson's Virgin Orbit, which designs rockets for launching small satellites, has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the United States. The move comes after the company announced last week that it was laying off 675 employees, or 85% of the workforce. Its 21-metre rocket, launched from a Boeing 747 off the coast of Cornwall in the UK, failed to reach orbit in early January.
Yep, that's right. Virgin Orbit, which IPO'd at around $3.7 billion in value, finally went bankrupt, and it was sold off for parts for a measly $36 million. And I personally do know some investors who were holding at that point.
Yes, me. I lost some money on it. Not all of it. I lost some. Am I upset about it? No. It's part of investing. But what you've failed to mention is, yes, Richard Branson did lose. That company did fail. Richard Branson made money out of it, though, however, which he's now been able to put, or he could be able to put, into Virgin Galactic if he wanted to. But unfortunately, due to COVID, if you look at the whole story, the Virgin brand has been losing money. The Virgin Airlines have been losing money. What you've failed to mention, though, is all the other Virgin businesses, Virgin Airlines, Virgin Trains, Virgin Bank. They're all doing okay. They're not all bankrupt. Some of his businesses have gone bankrupt. Correct. One of my first business went bankrupt. Nothing wrong with that. It happens. But the thing is, when you go bankrupt, you learn from it. I learned from it. And since I went bankrupt, I've never lost money again. And I've always been successful after that. So yes, he did go bankrupt. Obviously, Virgin Orbit went bankrupt. Richard Branson didn't. But many of his other businesses, way more, have been very successful and are still thriving today. Virgin Orbit is very differently structured and financed than Virgin Galactic. Don't get the two confused and think, here we go again, he's going to take all my money. Not taking anybody's money. It's your money you're investing. It's your risk, not anybody else's.
And it was definitely not pretty for them. An extremely difficult situation for employees, shareholders, stakeholders, and the entire industry. One thing I will say for Richard Branson, though, in his favor, is that he did maintain a stake in the company and still owns shares up to today, something that can't be said for Chamath. And what has Chamath been up to in the meantime? Well,
Chamath doesn't have to own shares in Virgin Galactic just because he once did. There's nothing wrong with me selling all my shares in Virgin Galactic today. even though I'm the number one person who talks about it. I am perfectly entitled to sell my shares. Sorry that you've obviously lost money, but
Take a look. Polyhopatia went on to take 5 more companies public via SPAC before the boom ended abruptly last year. And while investors who followed him into some of his SPACs lost money, as did investors in many hundreds of other SPACs that materialized in 2020 and 2021 last year, many blame him for aggressively promoting his own interests, including during numerous...
Many blame him. The biggest retail investors in the world who invest, institutions, I can assure you, because I've spoken to some, and I've spoken to the CEOs, I've never heard anyone feel we blame Chamath for our investment mistakes. Not one.
CNBC appearances at the expense of less sophisticated investors. In February of 2021, in a report from Hindenburg Research, they said Clover Health, which recently went
Chamath is accused of misleading investors. Let's be absolutely clear. Like I've said, like I've proved, like you are doing right now, you are making videos, or they're selling press, selling news items on negative news. This is what people do. This is why you make videos and don't go live up to 10 hours a day and build your business like I have done. This is why I'm live right now, making this during a live video. When I could be making a video of it, I will post it as a video afterwards, because I might as well, because you've already watched it. But I'm doing it during a live video, so 99% of my viewers have already seen it. And I've for no money whatsoever. So I'm not selling anything here. They're all watching it during a live show. I'm getting no money on this at all. In fact, I'll make about $8 by the end of the day on my live videos.
Public via Chamath Palihapitiya's SPAC is under active investigation by the Department of Justice, something it says neither the company nor Palihapitiya disclosed to potential shareholders. Let's take a look at some videos from CNBC now as they discuss these outcomes of these SPACs.
Post-SPAC, which looks at after the deal has closed, how has the stock performed? Now, to be fair, many IPOs from the same vintage have not performed well either. But you're down over 60% if you bought. However, if you are...
That's very much the point. However, many companies over this period were down too. Admittedly, SPACs haven't traditionally done very well statistically. But we're clutching at headlines here. These SPACs are all down. However, other businesses are down as well. But we'll ignore that because we want to make SPACs look bad. SPACs haven't performed well. That is correct. But let's have some balance here. Let's have some actual balance here. Many businesses at the same time did the same sort of thing. So you've just admitted that yourself, really. Again, you're selling TV. You're selling TV.
Are Mr. Palihapitiya, well, you're not down 60% or even close.
Again, sour grapes. So what? The guy made money. So are you going to be upset if I make any money as well? Oh, Martin Lucas makes money. He gets paid $8 a day on his YouTube videos. He's making money out of everybody losing money.
You're up big. And that, of course, is something we've talked about a lot as well. The promotes that many of the sponsors get for a fraction of the market value, obviously.
Oh, that is terrible. You get it as well. You are an investor yourself. And you obviously have connections, you know people like I do. Like I bought a gold mine last week, which is a discounted rate. I know you have discounted stocks yourself. How hypocritical of you to say, it's terrible, we're getting discounted stocks and then they're making money where the retail investor can't get it. You've done the same thing, as does everybody at CNBC, as does everybody on the New York Stock Exchange. You're talking absolute drivel.
That the investors are paying, either Class A or Class B and the warrants that go along with it. Here's a quick look, for example, at his SPACs that he backed that are out there in the current market. And we can take a look at some of them. Virgin Galactic, remember, he sold out of most of that. 10.5 million shares, it cost him less than $17,000.
Yeah, that's how it works. That's what a discount is. You've got the same, I've got the same.
Love for those same people to rewrite that article in 3 years and 5 years and see what it says.
What do you think it's going to say in 3 years or 5 years, Jim?
Yeah. Now here's what we need. What we need now is the voice of wisdom. We need Jim Cramer, who runs around a studio doing silly sound effects to get you to watch, to get everyone to phone in and shout Boyer, because he wants the drama. He wants to appeal to those that have no brain cells. He wants to appeal to those that will phone in and shout and scream and get all excited and run around the studio and talk rubbish. He's the one who told you to get out of J&J when it's one of the best businesses in the world because he tried to drive it down. Here we go. Let's get the information we need. You're absolutely right. We need to hear from Jim Cramer. He's the man.
David, there was a fellow. He was kind of tangentially related to Wall Street. His name is P.T. Barnum. And there's a sucker born every minute. And the people who buy these SPACs, they're dealing with P.T. Barnum.
They're dealing with P.T. Barnum. Have you ever watched your show, Jim Cramer? You are a very smart, wise man. You know how the market works. You have bought discounted shares all of your life, and yet you're sitting there trying to appeal to the man on the street who's lost all his money because it sells videos, gets everyone to watch your show, and makes you feel important. And makes you and your TV channel money. You should be disgraced with yourself, disgusted. You know you do the same thing every day. And the very nature of your show is to appeal to those people who can be influenced by your nonsense. How ridiculous are you?
And I think it's okay to say, this whole idea of this is a stacked deck against people. I'm not calling it a fraud. Because
no, you can't call it fraud because it's not fraud and it's not a stacked deck at all. Because when Virgin Galactic goes up, which it will, which is why I bought it, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. That's investing. You know, I'm going to make money. I'm not gonna. There's no cards stacked against me. I'm up like 65%. What cards are stacked against me? When the price goes up, I make money. When it goes down, it goes down. There's no cards stacked against anyone. What a load of rubbish.
That's a technical term. I'm just saying that you've been fooled over and over again, and that the public should just not be fooled. For the most part, I'm going to say it, this is a rigged deal against the people who watch the show.
No, it's not a rigged deal. That's absolutely ridiculous. But you are, again, talking to the sort of people that will listen to your nonsense. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And you get paid to do your broadcasts. I do mine for free, and if I'm lucky, I'll earn $10 a day. I prove that I'm honest by going live. You get paid to wind up the ignorant people that follow you and think that you know what you're talking about because it makes them feel part of your little club. Well, you get rich. You're doing exactly what Chamath's doing, but you're lying about it. Was Chamath told you what he's doing. I'm buying the stock. I'm selling the stock. No surprise.
Okay, so you'd think that after making out like a bandit, after doing so well for himself and telling all these retail investors he should invest in these companies.
He made out like a bandit. He bought a stock when it was down. He sold it when it was up. He made out like a bandit. Remember that every time we sell stocks, we're making out like bandits.
And they lost everything. Surely he's become a bit of a social pariah, right? Surely he doesn't have his fans anymore. Well, you'd be dead wrong. He's actually currently operating one of the most successful podcasts in the world called the All In Pod, where he talks investing with 3 of his buddies. And he still has an extremely wide following among the retail investor base, thanks to his extremely persuasive promote skills. Now,
Yeah. He's good at his job. You're damn right. He's good at his job. No one forces anyone to follow Chamath. And I'm going to make a prediction now. The guy that you think is rubbish, I bet by the end of this video, he gets more subscribers and you get less. What do you think about that?
It was on an episode of the All In Pod that we did get this gem he dropped about his opinion on the Uyghur genocide in China. Now, I know this doesn't have to do with investing and investors specifically, but I still thought it was worth a look. Let's see what he said.
Let's be honest, nobody cares about what's happening to the Uyghurs, okay? You bring it up because you really care, and I think that's nice that you care. The rest of us don't care. I'm just telling you a very hard.
Wait, you're saying you personally don't care?
I'm telling you a very hard, ugly truth. Okay, of all the things that I care about, yes, it is below my line. Okay, of all the things that I care about, it is below my line.
Disappointing.
Yep, that's pretty rough. I know he did sort of.
It's pretty rough. Let me be absolutely clear. When I started out and I was getting all these trolls and I used to get upset by it, right? I didn't like it. People would attack me and say whatever. Well, guess what? Guess what? It's below my line as well now, because guess what? I now have thousands of emails a day, thousands of messages a day, lots of trolls talking rubbish, and I'm probably going to get lots of comments to this video, and I filter out the rubbish as well. I still try and do engage with everybody, but if I'm too busy, you're damn right, it's below my line. You know why? Because I've got more important things to do. You know why? Because I'm building a successful business. That's why. And Chamath cannot answer and deal with everything that's nonsense, like you.
Walk back those comments afterwards, but it's hard to argue with what he said there about it just being below his line and not caring. Now, online, he's also gotten in several spats about his SPAC deals, investors complaining to him about their returns and how they didn't do well. I think that's a pretty justified complaint, in my opinion. Instead of apologizing to these investors who lost their money while he made millions, he said to, quote, "Stop playing the victim," and asked them why they didn't sell when he did.
Exactly.
I mean, come on. Let's look back at the time. He was saying that he was never going to sell. It was an extremely good business, and then he sold without telling people.
Let's be absolutely clear, folks. So there's no doubt at all. I have said publicly, live, every single day, for free, without making any money on these live videos. I have said, and I have done what I said. I will post what I am buying before I buy and what I'm selling as I'm selling it on my X account. I do it all the time. I don't have to, however, but I do. Very, very important. There's nothing wrong with Chamath selling and telling everybody he sold and saying you should have sold as well. It's irrelevant.
And even after he sold, he did come out and say that he didn't want to sell. He only sold because basically his accountants made him and he needed the money for other purposes, but he still really didn't want to sell. So in the context of those statements, I think it's very understandable why these people didn't sell when he did. We also had...
No, that makes no sense at all. Michael Cole-Glazier, the CEO of Virgin Galactic, every month sells shares, even when they're down. There are periodically automatic transactions done for tax reasons and so on and so forth. If you actually have a lot of money and you have a successful business, there's lots of reasons why you might trade your positions. Lots of reasons. Perfectly normal. It's not a conspiracy. It's not anything weird. It's completely public. Everyone knows you're doing it. It's not a magic trick. Nothing wrong with that.
Him on Twitter making fun of people who did criticize his handling of Virgin Galactic. Not the finest moment, in my opinion.
You can write what the hell you like. It's your X account. You can write. And if he was so unpopular and no one liked him, like you just said a few moments ago, more and more people are following him. So they seem to like it. Otherwise, they wouldn't follow him. I bet he's got more X accounts and more followers on his accounts than you do. So,
Now, finally, Chamath has also dipped his toe back into the space industry, making a big investment in the private company called Relativity Space. Let's take a look at what he said this past year on Relativity as they were working towards their first launch of the Terran 1 rocket.
Relativity Space has a huge... SpaceX is clearly just crushing on all cylinders. And they're really the only game in town with respect to launch capability. And if you just Google it, you'll see that the Europeans, have a hit or miss capability on launch. The Russians are completely
unable to do launch now because of all of these sanctions. The private companies in New Zealand or the United States have also had fits and starts, really incapable. Relativity, which is now the second most highly valued space business, is about to do a launch in the third week of January. And the big difference between it and SpaceX, which is sort of why we did it, this is a early YC company. I did the Series A and kind of went along the whole way. They have 3D printed everything. And the reason why 3D printing is interesting is you take so if you think a rocket costs $5 billion if built by NASA, Elon was able to take that to 100 to 500 million. And if you 3D print everything, you can take that cost to like 5 to 50 million. And so it allows you to just have this repeatability and manufacturability. Now, SpaceX also has a lot of 3D printed parts, but Relativity is entirely 3D printed. It has a launch in 3 weeks, and we have a $10 billion order book that gets unlocked. If the rocket does not blow up, there's a $10 billion order book, and this company is now on a trajectory to be as valued as SpaceX.
Okay, so surely after that, the Terran 1 put Rocket Lab and everyone else to shame, right?
Is already retiring its smaller 3D printed rocket that just flew for the first time last month, instead focusing on a new heavy lift rocket called Terran R. The Terran R, which will be partially reusable but won't fly until 2026, already touts a $1.6 billion backlog.
No, it was canceled immediately afterwards, and not only that, the company ended up scaling back their plans for 3D printing, which was supposed to make manufacturing of rockets.
This is how the stock market works, mate. I'd love to have a beer with this guy. He's probably a very nice person. He's probably got a wife and 2 kids, and he works hard, whatever. He's probably a great person. However, this is a complete delusion of how the stock market works, how rich, successful businessmen operate, the whole world. I just want to put into balance. He's probably a great bloke, but he's very wrong, very delusional. I'd love him to be on my show and react to this video. Maybe he will. But we're clutching at straws here to try to make, Chamath's a bad guy. I mean, what are we trying to do? We know what he's trying to do. He's trying to sell a video and get subscribers on Virgin Galactic. That's it. Would you subscribe to this?
10x cheaper. However, they did come to realize that 3D printing of these large tanks and rocket bodies is actually not the most efficient way forward, and switched over to more traditional manufacturing methods for parts of their next-gen rocket. At this point, the company will not be flying its new Terran R rocket to 2026 or 2027. And by the way, they had originally been saying that rocket would be fully reusable, and now it will not. So apparently not so much, everyone else being incapable and Relativity being the only ones who are capable now, is it? Luckily for this one, it is still a private company, so investors were unable to pile in, but I would be worried.
So what was the point then? What was your point here suggesting it's another scam, but in fact, no one could buy it anyway? So I'm going to make him look even worse. He's doing it again. But except no one could buy the stock, so it's kind of irrelevant. I don't know why I put that in the video. I don't even know why I even covered it, but I thought I would. I wanted to give you literally every part of your video. We've got 3 minutes left to go. I'm playing it all. This is your words, not mine. You've used an example as an example of it's not even opportunity to con anybody anyway. So I don't really get the point of that.
Of investing in this company if and when they do go public. And as for that massive billions of dollars order book about to be unlocked, well, the launch was mostly successful, but the order book was most definitely not.
Mostly successful, or was it successful? What is it?
Unlocked. So, to wrap up the story, did Chamath and Richard Branson withhold information to investors selling on the back end? I don't know. We'll have to wait.
I do. I know the answer because I actually researched the stock. No, they didn't. Did they do anything wrong? No, they didn't. Was anything underhand? No. Was it a conspiracy? No. Was it the rich man trying to do over the retail investor? No. You, sir, need to educate yourself with the stock market. And my suggestion to you, and I don't give financial advice, was you shouldn't be investing on the stock market and you shouldn't be making YouTube videos either.
Wait till the courts decide that. Everyone deserves their day in court, and it's for the judge to decide, not me. It's possible they knew about some of these issues with the vehicle and the delays that would be coming. It's possible they knew that the margins would not be as good as they were predicting and that they were being extremely outrageous in some of their predictions. It's hard to say for sure, but what I can say is that I do think they behaved quite unethically, especially in the case of Chamath. In the case of Richard Branson, I'm a little bit inclined to give him a bit more leeway simply because he did still retain some ownership in his Virgin Galactic company and does, I believe, want it to succeed. Meanwhile, Chamath did liquidate his entire position and made a killing while the stock crashed. So much for him only making money if it goes up and only making money if the retail investors do make money. The whole situation was really a perfect storm of...
Well, he did make money when it went up. So much for him making money when it went up. Well, it did go up, and that's why he sold it.
We had low interest rates, we had a very frothy stock market and frothy environment, we had the meme stock craze really kicking off and network effects online exacerbating some of these moves in stocks.
Let's be absolutely clear why Virgin Galactic first popped to 60 or whatever it was, $65. Let me be absolutely no illusion, 100% the reason why Virgin Galactic popped is it was at the time of COVID when everybody was at home getting Robinhood, downloading an app. Suddenly people that have no idea what they're doing are buying stocks. Everybody wants to buy SpaceX, but they can't. So they look to Virgin Galactic. It looks very sexy. It looks very rock and roll. Richard Branson, all of that stuff. People have got stimulus checks, money they don't know what to do with. If you give a poor man $1 million, he'll end up with none. If you give a rich man $1 million, he'll turn it into 10. That's how it works. People started to buy Virgin Galactic. And we know that Wolf of Dubai did a YouTube video telling everybody how they're going to get rich and all that rubbish. Got nothing to do with Chamath or Richard Branson. It's got everything to do with yourself. Take responsibility for your own actions and your own greed and wanting to get rich doing nothing. A bit like you trying to make a YouTube video out of absolutely nothing.
And really, the thing that bothers me the most is saying one thing and doing something else, and saying it with such conviction and being so persuasive about it, then afterwards calling someone an idiot for not selling when you did. To me, it's just really unethical behavior from someone who...
Shall I call him an idiot? I'm not going to do that. You know why I'm not going to do that? I'll tell you why I'm not going to do that. Because right now I'm live on about 20 platforms. And if I use that word on TikTok, it actually thinks I'm being offensive. And I actually get my account suspended for a couple of days. So I ain't going to do it. But I'm going to think it though. If you're going to be in the stock market and you're going to invest, you've got to start thinking a little bit differently.
Who doesn't even really need the money, they're already a billionaire. So I plan to
Whoa. He doesn't need the money. That is the first thing that every poor man says. He's a billionaire, he should be better than this. He doesn't need the money. A billionaire doesn't look at it like that. Do you know what? I'm a billionaire now. I don't need the money. I just make silly decisions now because I'm a billionaire. I don't need the money. What a ridiculous statement to make. He doesn't need the money. Bothered.
Stay far away from any stocks that Chamath promotes in the future. And if I do look at them, I will have to look at them knowing that he probably got a much more attractive entry point than is available to...
Yes, he will. And when my gold mine IPOs on the stock market, everybody will get a worse deal than me. That is a fact. That is a fact. I get the best deal. Let me make it clear. I made friends with the owner of the company. I had him on my show. I've got a gold mine at a discounted price. Yes, I did. All right? That's how it works.
To the private investors, and he'll probably sell before telling investors, and even if he does sell, he'll just say, oh, he had to for other things, but he didn't want to.
Yeah, I'm not gonna invest anymore. I'm not going to invest anymore because I know that Elon Musk got Tesla cheaper than me. And and he might sell it and he might get rid of it. And I'm just a poor man. And he's a billionaire. He doesn't need the money anyway. Why does he keep doing this to me? It's not fair.
This is a pattern that I've seen over and over with him, not just with his SPACs, but with other companies as well, such as Tesla.
Tesla will double and triple again. Scott, I don't understand why people are so focused on selling things that work. Let's just, I'll make up a number. Let's just say I owned $1 billion of Tesla stock. If I sold it, now I have $1 billion problem. What do I do with that money?
What have I always said, folks? What have I always said over and over and over and over again? I play chess, not checkers. If I've got a stock and I'm going to sell it, what am I going to do with that money? Am I going to pay tax on that money when I sell it? Where does it go? What does it do? What is the point of selling something? Generally, most stocks that you own, if you bought the right companies, they go up in value over time. So why am I selling? Am I trimming for a reason? Am I doing a tax harvesting? Am I trying to reduce my allocation to balance my portfolio? Absolutely right. This guy who's going, he shouldn't have sold his stocks. He should keep his stocks forever, because he said he would. That's not how it works. You have to know why you're selling.
What about if it was 100 million? What about if it was just 10,000? 10 billion? It doesn't matter what the number is. The point is that when things are working, you're paid to stay with people that know what they're doing. And this is a guy who has consistently been one of the most important entrepreneurs in the world. And so why bet against him? When the music's on, you got to dance. And so these guys are dancing. They are in rhythm. They're in flow.
In a different company. You still have a sizable stock position in Tesla?
No.
You sold it?
Yeah.
When?
What do you mean you sold it? You said you wouldn't sell it. Now you sold it. This is great. They love this. They love it. The day will come when I will be on CNBC, because I will give so much great content to these people. They'll have me on. They'll have me on because they will try to make me look silly. You're just a silly presenter. There's a billionaire, very successful, and you're trying to make him look silly.
Over the last few years, we've sort of, not last few years, like really in the last year or so.
Elon Musk sold Tesla. Elon Musk sold Tesla. He sleeps at the factory, at least he used to. So no one cares more about Tesla than Elon. Hang on a minute. Elon Musk sold his shares as well. Elon Musk is in conspiracy.
Great segment. Love this show.
Thank you very much. If anybody wants to do a super chat, we're coming up to the last minute of this video. Everybody super chat. Let's get all your comments on the screen. This is going to be my best ever video. I'm going to make more views and more money on this video than the guy who made it.
Particularly.
And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to buy Virgin Galactic shares with it.
The prices allowed me to, again.
Surprised to hear you say that after what you just said about the company.
Well, I don't have an infinite pool of capital.
Exactly. It's why I trimmed off the top for Enphase Energy. You said it was going up 3x. Why did you sell it? Tax losses, balance. I explained it why. Isn't that why you invest in the first place?
I'm myself. I don't raise funds. I can't go to other people.
Correct.
And so when I have these ideas, the money has to come from someplace.
Correct.
As for Sir Richard Branson, well, as I said, he's still involved with Virgin Galactic, and for the sake of the employees as well as the current shareholders of the company, I do wish them success, but...
Whoa. If you're going to spend an hour talking about how bad it all is, he owns about 15% of the business, only second to one institution. He's not just still in the company a little bit. Give the numbers. He's very much in with Virgin Galactic.
Personally, the situation is looking extremely grim to me. They are winding down their current spacecraft as they...
Whoa. They're not winding down their current spacecraft. The first spacecraft was a test craft to prove the concept. Now we are moving into a profitable business. This is a good thing. We're not scaling down, phasing it out, laying everybody off. It's all doom and gloom. Amazon have just fired some people. Meta have fired some people. Is Amazon going bankrupt? Is Meta going bankrupt? You're just lucky you haven't got anyone to fire because it's just you in your studio there.
They realize it just can't be flown profitably, switching their focus to the new Delta version, which will not be flying for a few years.
Whoa. It's not a few years. It's 2. 3 is a few. It's 2. And since you made this, and since they announced it was 2, it's more like 18 months. So it's a lot less than a few, which is 3. Be precise. It's half of what you just said.
Meanwhile, they've been burning hundreds of millions of dollars a quarter, so I will not be investing in this company either.
Oh no, don't tell me you're not investing in it. No, there's a guy on YouTube who's just said he's not investing in this stock. Now we're in trouble. Richard Branson's still in. Chamath is he's robbing everyone's money. And this guy isn't buying it. I'm selling all my shares of Virgin Galactic.
Personally, I do have a hard time seeing them make it, and the story is definitely not over. I will be watching the results of this lawsuit very carefully to see if there is a settlement or if we do find out some evidence that they did.
I will tell you what's going to happen. It'll be thrown out. There's no evidence. It's perfectly normal. Big companies are always in and out of court. People always want to sue somebody for something. They always want to have sour grapes and go, oi, your day in court. I'm not happy. You think for a second Richard Branson and Chamath are going to lose a court case about something they've done absolutely nothing wrong. I can save you the time. I'll tell you the result. Nothing. 0. And guess what happens when it goes 0 and there's no bad news comes out? The stocks will go up even further and you'll be going, oh, I wish I hadn't sold now, because you should have studied the business, not spent your time feeling bad and down because Chamath seems to be the robber and a bad bloke and he's out to get you.
Did indeed have insider information when they made these sales, which was not available to the public.
What do you mean inside information? When the company was private, before it went SPAC, of course they had inside information. It was an inside company. It wasn't public. Of course they knew what the company was going to do before it went public. That's not insiders. That's just the fact I work there. I mean, it's a very difference between insider trading and insider transactions and knowing stuff that goes on. It wasn't a publicly traded company at that point. What a load of nonsense.
That would be extremely damning indeed. So,
yes, it would. It would be extremely damning indeed, and they'll be whisked off to prison in 5 seconds. And thank God you made a video, otherwise they might got away with it.
What do you think? Did these 2 billionaires commit fraud?
Don't keep calling them billionaires, call them Richard and Chamath. That's all they are, 2 successful businessmen.
Are you still a fan of Chamath, of Richard Branson?
I wasn't a fan in the first place.
Do you think they did anything wrong?
Nope.
Even if there was no fraud here, did you invest in Virgin Galactic?
Yes, and lost a lot of money. Damn it, that Chamath, he keeps getting me. If only I watched your video first.
Or Virgin Orbit or any of Chamath's other SPACs. Did you lose money? If so, let me know down in the comments below. Always interested to hear your stories and continue the conversation there. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It helps me so much as I continue to try and build this channel. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
There you go. Now, I encourage all of you to go and and comment on his video. Subscribe to him. I am not bothered at all. I encourage it. So I will actually finish this video now. I'll put a link above my head and a link down in the description. And I ask you to go and comment on his video. I'm going to give you the link because I'm making this during a whoops-a-daisy. Whoops. I'm going to give you, hang on, this video. Here is the link to the video. So let me just give it to everybody in the chat. You might want to go and say Martyn Lucas has just made a video. There you go, and it'll be out shortly. Be out later on this afternoon. So there's the link. Maybe you'd like to comment. And now just to share with you the way that things work. This to prove to you that negativity sells. And I could do it. And this is the first time I've done a reaction like this. Let me prove to you what I've been saying is true. This guy has 3,700, 10,000 subscribers less than me. Doesn't rank number one on the SPCE like I do. 2,600 views, more than I get. It's more than I get. Because people like negativity. They like to join an army and remember, I'm not trying to sell videos. I don't care if you subscribe, watch. I'm just being honest. There it is. 2,600. Look how many likes he got. 172. I think that's more likes than I've had on any of my videos. But that's because you created a negative video feeding into the narrative of we're all being conned. So it sells. As you can see, it sells. But I will never do it. I will never do it because this channel is about being honest and real. I hope that gives you some understanding of Virgin Galactic. Many of you have reached out to me who have seen this, who are concerned. Are we all being conned? Is it all a joke? Should we all get out of Virgin Galactic? Blah, 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 blah. So I wanted to make a full reaction video. Now you've got the chance to vote. Here is the vote. This is the vote here. Yes, no, or undecided. Yes, no, or undecided. And 52% of you said that you feel that you were misled by Richard Branson and Chamath. 38% of you said no. Okay, so now what I'm going to do a follow-up poll. And I will reveal the results later. If you feel now, after you've heard the video and you've heard my reaction, I will ask the exact same question and you can vote again. Do you feel that you were manipulated by Chamath? Anyway, what do you think of that? Leave me your thoughts, your comments below. Should I say it? You might as well subscribe to me. I might as well get some views out of it. I bet he gets more comments and more views on his video because he's saying we were all conned. Me, I'm just telling you, he's talking nonsense. What do you think? Am I right? Is he right? You decide. Leave me your thoughts in the comments below. Over here, more videos I think you'll like. Until then, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.